Are you stressed? It's tips time. Welcome to Training Intervention Program for Behavior Change. Tips for Behavior Change. I am your psychologist and behavior specialist, Geraldine Garwood. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Today, I want to talk to us about stress management. What is involved in stress? What are stressors, the different types of stressors? What are the negative effects of stress? And how do we manage our stress? So, stress is the body's automatic response to any physical or mental demand placed on it. Adrenaline is a chemical which is naturally produced in our body as a response to stress. So, what happens is when the physical or mental demands are placed on our body, then the adrenaline is a natural response to these physical and mental demands. And when that natural response occurs, we can have a fight or flight response that is elicited towards these physical and mental demands. And so, how do we identify stressors? Now, stressors are situations, activities, and relationships that cause trauma to one's physical, emotional, or psychological self. And so we're going to look at some of the types of stressors that can cause trauma to our physical and emotional self. And so these stressors include work, school. And let me start off with school. School is a stressor, especially in this pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, it was a stressor and it is even more of a stressor now. Why? Because many persons may not have the resources to access online classes. Also, many persons are experiencing depression as a result of not being able to have physical contact with their teachers and their peers, and not being able to access work content that are placed online by teachers. So, therefore, school is a stressor. We move on to work. Work is a stressor, especially if you have a bad boss, especially if you're not getting along with colleagues or co-workers, especially if timelines given for job tasks are unrealistic, especially if you do not have the relevant resources to complete the job task, then work can be a stressor. Family. Family can be a huge stressor, especially when you have difficult children who engage in inappropriate behaviors, and you are not able to manage those behaviors, especially if you have marital or spousal challenges in your relationship, and that take me to relationships. So if you're having problems in your marriage, in your common law union, if you're having sibling relationship challenges, parental relationship challenges, this is a stressor. And then legal stressors include court battles. So if you're in court on the grounds of a divorce, if you're in court as it relates to a will, if you're in court as relates to property, if you have family members in courts for crimes committed, these can be stressors. And then finances. Finances are very huge stressor, because without finances, persons are not able to take care of themselves or their family. So if you are financially unstable, that can be a huge stressor. And another huge stressor, or what I would call a drop in the bucket, is when you get a diagnosis of ill health, some health and illness. So when a person gets a diagnosis that they may have cancer or diabetes, that is a huge stressor. And environment. Your environment can be a stressor, especially if you live in an environment that is volatile. And right now, I think as a society, a number of persons are experiencing stresses as it relates to what is happening in the society. A lot of our children and young people are raped, kidnapped, and murdered. And so that is environmental, and it is a stressor on a number of persons. And then living situations. So if you live in a situation that makes you really, really uncomfortable, where you're at a disadvantage, then of course that can be a stressor. So, what are the negative effects of stress on our system? And so, the negative effect of stress, physical, persons can have weight gain or loss. Persons can have experience ear loss, so they can have unexpected ear loss. Persons can have heart palpitations, high blood pressure, and then emotionally, persons can have mood swings, anxiety that leads to depression, and depression, when a person gets severely depressed, they are not able to cope. They do not have the right coping strategies, and that can lead to the use of alcohol and drugs and suicide ideation, of course. So, these are the negative effects of stressors and dealing with these stressors. So, I am giving you some tips today on how you are to deal with or manage your stress. And so, how do we manage stress? First, I want to recommend body relaxation exercise, breathing techniques, and do exercise, overall exercise. Try and exercise, find something to do. Relax, take deep breaths in the mornings and in the evening, and during the day, take a deep breath and try to find some time during your day to engage in exercise activities. Meditation, a number of persons may practice meditation. Some may do yoga, and some who are religious may meditate on scriptures from the Bible, right? Whatever is your style of meditation, meditation is a good method or techniques of dealing with stressors. And then counseling, of course, if you are not able to cope any at all, I am recommending that you seek a therapist. You go to a therapist that can help you to manage your stress. So please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and check out my next video, which is to come on nutrition and what is involved in maintaining good diet and nutrition.